Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. Oh, fuck. I was going to do Toga's fucking spiel, but I forgot it.
What an intro.
Hey, Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben.
That's what happens when I have to wake up to do the podcast. I'm so mad.
If it helps.
Your heart has not given up. Can you hear it? Can you hear it, Ben?
I can't hear it, but I am throbbing. Yeah.
You also have to imagine that my shirt has flown open.
Dude, what I would give for that ability. What a shtick. Every time the camera clicks, just too good. Too fucking good. A lot to unpack in this last
a lot in this last arc.
We
Apocalypse Saga.
We easily could have done the. I get how the person was what the fuck that uploaded my version of this show. They were definitely just going by like the clip show episodes, because that's what everything ended on. So we definitely could have done like another round that way, just ending at the clip show. For me, what my person called third season, but yeah, there's a lot, and I looked up afterwards and I felt so good about it because I was trying like I saw what was in front of me, right? But I was like trying to understand what was in front of me. And the best piece of advice that I found going online was someone who was just like, someone had posted in some forum and they're like, what should I take away from this? What does this mean? Can someone explain all the symbolism and blah, blah, blah? Like just clearing the air. And the first comment was like, don't worry about it. Nobody, and I mean fucking nobody on earth knows exactly what's going on. Like can say with authority. And I'm like, hell yeah. Let me just interpret the way I want, which is great.
Ukuhara can say, he'll just give you like 3 answers.
I mean, yeah, there you go.
Because part of the point is if stuff being up for a little bit of interpretation.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of like the way they do the episode with the play, and then so you get the myth version and then you get the actual like what happened version.
Well, I mean,
our Ember Islands players episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's like...
so I saw that before I saw that Avatar episode, and then when I saw that Avatar, it's like that episode of Utena. Oh, I'm so happy.
Nice. Hell yeah. Oh, there's...
what a good idea.
I mean, the big... I don't even know how to section it properly. I mean, the things that stand out are like that final stretch and the the fucking egg episode. What a goddamn banger. Oh my god. In the confusion, like when Nanami runs into Juri, she's like, yeah, it's this big. Yeah. I like the way it feels. What? God, it's so good, dude.
That started when I was 7 or something.
Started when I was 7. And that's just after she's like, oh no, all the other girls are going to laugh at me for laying my eggs so late.
First, she's afraid that she's the only one who laid eggs, and then she's afraid that everybody else has been laying eggs this whole time.
She's a late bloomer.
She's a late bloomer.
Oh my god. It's so good.
She's just a ball of anxiety.
God.
That's why she's my favorite character.
Yeah, you also were not kidding. Shit got dark real quick.
Yeah.
It went from like a little bit a little bit mystical, a little bit weird, to be sure. And those undertones were not under for very long. Like,
No.
Jesus. The
I mean, they've been letting you know it's coming.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but like when you get there, it's like, fuck, dude.
I I mean, so in my quest for like understanding some stuff and like clearing shit up, easily the worst thing I found, and thankfully I did also find a lot of comments like talking about how fucking terrible it was. But someone wrote this long analysis of like why Utena and Aiko?
Akio.
Akio. Ugh, I got the I and the K flipped. Um, why their scene was like, I don't know. This person was arguing like some people try to make it like it's a fully romantic thing, and other people try to argue that it's like violent assault, and it's somewhere in the middle, and like she's discovering herself, and like she's hesitant but in love with him,
Oh.
and it's fine. And I'm like, you are. I hope that you're like 14 and just don't understand. But I know in my heart that you're just a fucked up person. Like, god damn. And all like someone had linked to
Yeah.
it, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with people? God.
Yeah.
No, it's the thought I had to myself, like basically from that scene onwards is Akio is Griffith in slow motion. Like, what a fucking, just a bad person, you know?
He's a bad
He's just a
person.
bad person. Oh. Anyway, I've gotten some of my feelings out. Is there a place you wanted to start that made more sense,
Um,
or just
let's start
go?
with the beginning, where this saga starts
Hi.
with Akio's car. Is like the big symbol, driving to the end of the world, on that road.
Yeah. I didn't get it.
It's a metaphor, Ben.
What's it a metaphor?
Also, it's a car.
Yeah, I mean it's a car. It's like the latest model that's popular this year.
It's about sex, Ben. And
I mean, clearly,
the
what?
symbol of
What?
adulthood.
You're fucking telling me that when they showed him putting his foot down to the floor, and then people leaning back and going, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wasn't.
It's not subtle.
Yeah.
He's
He
it's where he seduces everybody.
He took so many people to the end of the world. Jesus.
Yeah, man. He's fucking everyone. It's the other thing with the season. Every character, Akio fucks them.
Yeah. And the fucking little when Toga is on the like little motorcycle,
Oh yeah,
the little sidecar and shit.
yeah.
It's like almost an adult.
He's imitating. Well, it's everything he learned. He learned from Akio.
Actually, there is one thing I wanted to say, just because I don't know where else it would fit in nicely, because I noticed it more in this like back half of the show. They were not afraid to like really let moments sit, you know? Like there's a lot of scenes where it's literally like in anything, not anything else, but I could easily see it feeling out of place. Like there's some of those things, like somebody, and they do it as a joke, but they also did it like for some serious moments where like somebody says something and it's literally just 20 to 30 seconds of like someone just staring, or like nothing being said, nobody moving. I really appreciated that. definitely a thing you don't see too often, I feel like.
No, I mean, at this point, it has confidence in, like, being itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, like, worried about, you know, it's like the audience is going to get this show or they're not going to get it. And, like, we can do a pause if we want to do a pause
Yeah.
for a timing thing. Like with the episode 31, that Nanami episode had so many of them with, like, Toga saying something and then saying just kidding after like 20 seconds.
Yeah, dude. That and then the cutaway to fucking like Nanami's face just completely beat red.
Like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's like wouldn't I can't even think of an example. Like what if we moved our beds next to each other in Minecraft? Just kidding. Unless.
But you, like, leave it sitting there for so long before you say just kidding.
I mean, you gotta lure the person in.
Ugh.
I mean, I could see that working in person and not being awkward. That just gets sad over text, though. Just imagine sending something and that fucking red notification hits, and then after 5 minutes of no response, you're like, just kidding. Doesn't help. Anyway, it was good bits, though.
Yeah. I don't, like, yeah.
It's all fucking weird. But
yeah. So in that first episode where basically Saionji gets roped back in by Toga and Akio, he gets shown the end of the world, which is like kind of unclear, but like it's definitely about like sex and showing them adulthood. But the thing is, like, it's never, the characters are still always stuck in their own shit.
mm-hmm.
Like they've basically lost even before they get to the duel because they haven't like overcome their shit. They're still trapped in the memory where they are.
Yeah.
So that is kind of just always how these duels play out. So Saionji comes to challenge Utena, and the big thing in this fight is the sword of Dios like disappears in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
Sword that Utena draws out from Anthy, and then she's like running away, and then Anthy like dives in front of Utena, like actively helps her, and then draws the sword out from Utena's heart,
which was dope as hell.
It's very good. And so now Utena is now fighting like with her own power. She's not, the prince isn't helping her in that same way. Although it's the same sword, and you still see Dios like fall from the sky during duels. But Utena is kind of, it's like her inner strength is what she has to rely on now, and it's her and like this whole arc is her and Anthy against the various duelists until the end. Then we get Kozue and Miki episode, and this one is where they set up the thing of like the other duelists, like Saionji just shows up with his own sword. He doesn't have, it's kind of like with the Black Girl Saga did something like this too. I forget what it was though, where the first duel was different in some way, but now I don't remember.
Yeah, that was a lifetime ago.
The similarity thing in the Black Rose Saga was the characters stealing the heart of somebody else.
Yeah.
But the first duel, that doesn't happen.
Gotcha.
Because Kozue doesn't... Akio's fiance doesn't steal anybody's heart for a sword. So in this one, we have Kozue draws Miki's sword out of him, and he duels with that. As she's like in a similar dress to the Rose Bride's dress, except in her colors. Or it's a blue dress, I guess. Miki's colors.
Yeah.
And then Mickey gets distracted in the duel because Kozue is like gonna make out with Hanti in the car.
I mean,
he gets distracted.
Yeah. Well, and then she also and doesn't she? What did she say? You're gonna lose. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, pay attention, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And he does not pay attention.
Well, pay attention or you'll lose. Also, I'm about to make out with this chick. Mixed signals.
That's fine. Fine. There's also the thing of this is like there's a thing of like, so I never even explicitly say it, but like their parents are divorced.
Yeah.
And they get a call from their dad, and it's like, oh, do you want to talk to your new stepmom that I'm about to marry? And he said no, but it cuts to him in that room, and his new wife is Auntie in the Rose Bride dress, just standing behind him.
Yeah. I mean, I caught that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to make of it, but it was definitely a thing that passed in front of my eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's like, because the world isn't that these characters are in is not like a normal world. They're like in a curse. they're like trapped in their personal coffins or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like, so there is no like outside other woman. It's just a witch who has ensnared their father, and every witch is Auntie.
Yeah.
Kind of. Or whatever.
Arguably.
Like, because there's also, like, Kozue and Shiori are also, like, witch-like. And, like, the implication is without a prince, every princess becomes a witch. It's, like, another idea that's in the show. Except not me.
I'm just trying to think of like examples. I could see where that comes from, certainly. I hadn't picked up on that.
That is stated somewhere. I don't remember when.
Okay. I mean,
then we get the egg episode.
I'm like MVP episode.
Nanami wakes up and there's an egg in her bed, and she's like, "Oh no, I must have laid an egg." And hilarity ensues.
This is like also
her conversation with Toga, where she's talking about having laid an egg, and she's like, Toga's like, Nanami, the only reason we've been able to live together like this is you're the kind of girl who doesn't lay eggs.
Dude, such a fucking great line.
And then it cuts, like, there's the whole thing through their conversation of, like, Nanami, the shot it's using of her in the back and forth is, like, she's on the right, and then there's this giant window on the left. And when he says that at the end, and it's, like, showing, like, things that are, like, representative of whatever is going on. But in the end, he's, like, after he says because you're the kind of girl that doesn't lay eggs, it's just a red sky filled with bats. It's the nightmare world. It's such a good shot.
Dude, they had it also feels like they ramped up the shots in this back half. I noticed more bangers.
They're going for it a little bit more, I'd say.
I'm here for it.
The other big thing was like during now the thing with this season is during the duels, they're just versions of Akio's car everywhere, like sticking out of the ground, like half, and then there's like one running or like rolling around the outside track, like at an angle because like one of its wheels is on the upper like bound of the dueling arena.
Yeah.
And whenever somebody loses, then it's like the car crashes, and there's then the characters are left over like sprawled out because they have been in a car crash.
So
Because
I
they were going forward and they fucking lost it. They lost control.
Yeah. I don't. For some reason, I don't remember. I don't recall them doing it. Maybe they did it for the first couple of fights. I feel like I only noticed it later on, but like after a certain point, when the duel is about to start, like it's just the silhouette of the car.
Mm-hmm.
I just always thought to myself, like, bitch is about to fight a car. Just straight, that's your opponent. Because it's set up that, like, there's not even people, it doesn't even look like there's people in it. It's just, this is what you're fighting.
Yeah. Well, like, because they're like cutting down on the, like, doing the whole rigmarole, I guess. Because the first times it's person's in front of the car usually.
Yeah. Did they start? I'm getting it's all blending together already.
Sure.
Did they start the elevator in this period? Or
Yes,
is that
that's
a
the
little
other
later?
thing. In the first episode, they're like, the student council is like, something's changed. A gondola has appeared.
Yeah, yeah.
So the elevator has opened up, so you don't have to walk up the stairs anymore, and we get a new animation set for Zetai Unmei Moku Shiroku.
We also get the sexiest shot in the show.
Yes. Well, this season's all about increasing the sexiness. And
Well,
I'm assuming you mean when Anthony's disappears and then trees start growing out of her uniform.
yeah, you told me.
Starts growing out of her uniform.
Yeah, sailor uniform with leafy branches popping out of it. Yeah, dude, hit me.
Yeah. And they more often are drawing the girls like with visible lipstick. This season.
I noticed that. I was trying to figure out if there was and I feel like I was maybe a little bit on the money, but I didn't I need to I need to fucking rewatch this whole thing again.
Hell yeah.
It feels like I just read like a Shakespeare play for the first time. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's very dense.
Yeah, dude. Like,
One of the reasons I really like it.
It's like it was it was exhausting to watch in the same way that like reading Shakespeare is exhausting. Like it's tiring. You got to think a little. I mean, to truly, to watch it. But I noticed that in the at least right before, usually that I once I realized the lipstick thing. After the transformation stuff, she has the lipstick, but beforehand she doesn't.
Yeah.
And then I noticed like a couple other instances. The one that sticks out in my mind is the gross scene with Akio. She has the lipstick again, and a lot of I think a few of those scenes with him she does, and I was like, is this like another thing for adulthood going on, something like that? But yeah, I noticed that.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing with these episodes is some of the student council stuff. They're upping the ridiculousness of what's going on while they're talking. My favorite is the baseball game that's just happening up there while they're talking.
I really like the microphone one.
Oh, the microphone one was good too.
But like, there was a couple cameras. I'm like, okay, like it's a little weird, but sure. And then it like cuts, and there's like double like the cameras are exponentially increasing in number.
Yeah.
It's great.
Um.
Yeah,
Nanami's egg thing. Back to that episode.
definitely.
Just
Like, I mean, my interpretation was like a period, right? Like, is that one of the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Puberty stuff. You know.
I mean that, or like girls lay eggs. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
American sex ed. What do I fucking know?
You know, something happening with your body, and you don't understand it, and if nobody's talked to you about it, you might have the wrong idea.
Yeah.
And like just anxiety about stuff. I like when she finds Sionji just grilling eggs in the woods in an apron.
Shit.
And she kicks the shit out of him.
Beats
She
up.
fucking uppercuts him.
And she's like calling him a monster. He's like, "Am I not allowed to like eat?" What?
Did you want an egg? I have more.
Yeah.
It's fine. He's so confused. And then she's like, I have to abandon my egg. And she's like, no, I can't. And then it's a giant egg.
Yeah, I was
It's
about to
like
say,
really
like, it's a
big
fucking
egg.
giant egg. I'm like, where are we? What?
It was a dream, and she wakes up and the egg is broken.
Been there.
The other thing we get is like a moment where like, hey, where's Choo Choo? What's he doing? Like, and the like this, where like Choo Choo put that egg there.
Yeah.
Because and Nanami talks about, Anthe talks about her chicken Nanami who laid an egg.
Dude, it's cows, chickens, classic stuff.
She's just out here to fuck with that girl.
I mean, you know,
That's what
sometimes
she's about.
Sometimes you gotta pick a target.
The target is everyone. As it turns out, also. And after that episode, after that fun time, we get introduced to a new character. Ruka, the former fencing team captain, and like Juri's mentor, who has blue hair with a little streak that's a lighter blue, the way like Toga does.
Yeah, I really needed, like, I probably should have just made it early on, but I really need a list of like what all the colors mean. I only remember like 3 of them. What's blue again?
A shining thing.
A shining thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And like, so he like walk into his locker and Shiori is like, a sword falls out of it and she like hugs it and is like, oh, I'm sorry. And like, he's like, oh, you've polished my sword every day while I was gone, didn't you? And she's like, yes. It's like, that definitely didn't happen. Shiori like transferred back to the school in season 1. Like,
Well, I mean, that payoff later though.
it's true. So then he's like, hey, dating Shiori, and Juri's mad about it. And then they have a duel, and Ruka's like, gives up and then like admits that like, yeah, I knew you were lying this whole time. You suck, Shiori. This is all about breaking you. Because it turns out Ruka likes Juri, so of course he had to date Shiori first. It's the way of shitty dudes.
I mean, you just We were just fucking talking before the episode. What are you talking? You said yourself, and I'll quote, ladders are fun. You gotta climb up. You should know better than anyone.
Uh, so like the short of it is Ruka's plan is he wants to help Jury to get so she can get what she wants. So he becomes like her bride for her duel that he basically talks her into doing. Along with Akio's help, because you got to have the scene where Akio puts the pedal to the metal and then jumps out of the car and hangs out on the front of it with his shirt open. Gotta have that.
I mean, it's a dream, a dream come true. I wish I could do that.
It's the end of the world. But
It's also
during
gross.
the duel, Utena like hits Jury's necklace, and like her like shirt opens and it goes flying, and then Jury's like just done, and she's like just pulls the rose off her own chest and just crying, and it starts raining, and Ruka's like, it'll be okay, Jury. It's very sad.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Ruka died.
Ruka's definitely dead.
Yeah. Okay, you accept this death? This death happened? Ben the death denier?
What do you like? This one clearly happened. What are you talking about?
It was off screen.
It clearly happened. All of this shit was there.
We get a story about, there was this student who was sick and died. Basically. Well, like, he knew he was going to die, so he just wanted to live life as a normal student again and try to help the person he loved achieve her dream. And she failed. And then he died.
Don't you dare think I've forgotten about Professor What's-Her-Name. She'll fucking come back season 2. It's not even a question. Okay?
I mean, they basically have time travel in that show, so that's possible for that character to come back.
We have Godzilla. We have Mecha Godzilla. Who the fuck do you think's gonna be piloting it? It's gonna be a little dream team. It's gonna be her and Godzilla's skeleton at the helm. There you go.
And then they're gonna kiss.
I mean, like, maybe. Anyway, yeah, the calling out Shiori on like the sword thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. That's not even my sword.
It wasn't even my sword.
You liar.
That one's good also because like when the car crashes, like Shiori is like have broken glass all over her, and Ruka's fine because he didn't like put his heart into that fight.
Yeah.
He's just standing there.
Yeah, she's like
There,
face through the fucking windshield or whatever.
Yeah.
Just beat the hell.
Yeah. Then we get the barefoot girl, where Utena's resolve against Akio is broken, basically. We have this running metaphor throughout the episode of a candelabra with 3 flames. And every time, like, Akio flirts with her or whatever, it flickers. And then as the episode goes on, the flames start going out.
It was so good, dude.
And also at the end, it's revealed that Anthe is holding the candelabra.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, I mean, I want to clarify, it's like fucking disgusting. also.
Yeah,
But
it's a
like,
it's a horror
it's
story.
fucking good, but goddamn.
It's this
The scene with Akio like moving on to Utena, and Anthe is like in the background just
yeah.
looking terrifying. Good shit.
Those shots of her with like
Mhm.
her just the light off her glasses. It's all lit up, where she just looks like demonic. Uh, and Akio's whole thing is like Utena feels like she's betraying her prince. She falls in love with Akio or whatever. It's like her internal struggle.
Yeah.
That's what she's worried about, not the. This is an adult like seducing her. She doesn't see that. She doesn't have the perspective on that part, but we do as the audience. Ugh.
Yeah. Dude, it's
But
I
you don't
mean,
see that like of like a seduction that's shown to be like this character's like their will being broken.
yeah.
Like the way it's presented.
I I mean, I think it was I'm sure it was after that moment in the car where I was like, "You know what? How fucking old is everybody in this show again?" I'm
Uh-huh.
like looking up ages, and I'm like, Okay, that's like, well, that's fine, I guess. This is less fine. That's on the edge
It's
of
no good.
cool." And then like we're just getting deeper. I'm like, this is no good at all.
It's no good at all. No good at all. Yeah, when I was doing my rewatch for the season, I blitzed through 29 and then I got to 30. I'm like, okay, I need to tackle this one when I'm ready. Cause fuck.
Hell yeah.
Uh, and then we get episode 31, which is our last Nanami. No, I guess our next two episodes are Nanami episodes,
Yeah.
where Nanami's having a conversation with her friends about blood types, and then they're like, "What?" Everyone and Nanami's like, "Everyone in my family is type B except my brother's type A," and my friends are like, "That's not possible."
Oh my god.
So,
Her
that
the animation during that scene was so fucking good, where she's like leaning back and like shaking a little bit and then like slams her
uh,
fist down. It was just incredibly good.
yeah. So then Nanami is convinced that her and her brother are not actually related, and it fucks her up. And then Toga's like leaning into it in gross ways. Um, I think like the big thing is like, so she starts. I forget where this episode ends. Um, okay, it does get to that. So she's like, I can't live with Toga anymore. I have to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And she starts staying at different people's places. Eventually, uh, by the end of the episode, she's gonna stay with Anthe, Utena, and Akio. And she does the thing Utena has never done, which is like go out. She's like, I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. She walks out and she sees Anthe and Akio, and is rightfully horrified.
Well, I mean, rightfully horrified, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I guess it's because like she's one to talk, kinda, but also, like thinking about shit and actually doing it or seeing it in this case, like, I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, I wouldn't. Again, I just wouldn't characterize like you could make the case like the whole next episode is about that, right? Where
Yeah, yeah. But at
Nami's like,
that point,
that's not what I ever meant.
yeah. But at that point, I mean, like, bitch drowned a cat, dude.
Look, she's living in a cursed world,
I know, but
and
still.
she has no. If you don't have a prince, you become a witch. Her prince is Toga, who's her brother, so it's fucked up. And then he wasn't, that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's the patterns of this world, the story they're trapped in. Um. Yeah, so like the next episode is about Nanami being fucked up about seeing Anthe and Akio together, and then like fucked up about what her relationship is with Toga now. Um, and then Toga brings her to Akio's car and like tries to make out with her, and she like shoves him off. She's like, "Fucking no."
Yeah.
And then, and like her motivating factor to want the power to revelation of the world is like to take control of her own life, to surpass her brother. She's not fighting to like, she's fighting for herself basically by the end of like, she wants the power to
Yeah.
make it the world for herself, and she loses, as everybody does.
Naturally. No, her in the car when Toga gets her there and does his thing, like, I mean, like like everything else by this point, like we're on that ramp up to our, I mean, into the horrors of everything. Like,
Yeah,
it's very good, and in the fucked up way. Like, just a very powerful scene.
yeah. And then at the end we get like Toga and Akio talking. It's like, yeah. So it was like, yeah, me and Nanami were adopted when we were younger, but she was too young to remember. We're totally blood related.
Yeah, and he's like, it's more romantic this way.
If we're not, like,
Fucking gross, dude.
terrible.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Oh yeah, and the thing of her confrontation with Toga happens at the end, where she's like, she put in a transfer to get out of the school, and that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
There is no escape.
Ugh.
All of the shots of like in Akio's apartment where they're all hanging out, and Nanami is just like in the corner, huddled. She's like, fucking nightmare world.
Yeah. Dude, the amount of like, just because it's so fucking dark. Like, I kept thinking back to like
so dark.
the first arc. I'm like, oh, like student council, we're dueling, there's swords, and now it's like, Jesus fuck.
Yup. This is the apocalypse saga. Apocalypse. It's bad times.
Yeah.
And then we get the play.
Well, we get the amusement park.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. The amusement park. Right. No, it's the Shadowblade girls have their like radio program. What's in this episode. Of like they're doing a radio show, and Akio calls in to like answer a trivia question, and he's like, "Hold on, I have to go to work." And then it cuts to him like showing up at for Saionji at the start of the first episode of this arc.
Yeah.
So it's like this episode is like recapping all the duels, but then also we keep cutting to like Akio in the car and Utena like clearly talking to Akio in a in an apartment.
Yeah.
And it's building, and then we get the Akio and Utena, or Akio raping Utena, basically.
Yeah. Dude, that fucking...
That seems fucking rough.
That
Utena's like talking about groceries.
That garbage ass analysis was like refusing to call it rape. And
Yeah.
it's like, bud, like
Utena is like completely disassociating.
It doesn't have to be.
It's like,
I mean, even if she's not, it's still statutory, dude. Like, it doesn't, like, she's fucking 14.
Yeah.
Nobody, like, it's in every sense of the word. Like, it's ugh.
Yeah.
It's gross from every fucking angle.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
No good.
No good at all.
And I think like the important thing about it is like the sex metaphor has been here, and it's like, you know, the show's been clear about Akio being like also raping Anthe constantly.
Yeah.
But like the way it does it with Utena in that scene is like it just fucking hits at another level.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's like it's rough, but it's like I don't know. It's what the story's doing. What the show's about.
Yeah. And I was like, I mean, no idea where we were building to in terms of like, how is this gonna resolve? Like, where the hell do you go from here? And I mean, by this point, I'm like, after the amusement park stuff, I'm hoping that it's like, I don't even know the best phrase, like, that it is a dark story. I didn't want it to be like, if we're doing this, if this is in the story, like, I want that to be the story instead of just like a thing that happens and then we're just gonna like move on for some reason.
Yeah.
Or like it doesn't get resolved, or it ends up not being a big chunk of the thing, which obviously it is. So that was good, but coming off of a lot of other anime, I was a little worried because you never fucking know. So yeah, that was.
Well, and I think it's like telling that like Akio is never depicted in a different way from like the version where like everyone thinks he's hot and is okay with him being flirty.
Yeah.
Like his attitude never changes. He's kind of a static figure. It's just like showing the depths of what he does. Like this is the worst monster. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
To really get into it. Of how terrible he is. Then we get the play.
Yes.
Where we get the Shadow Play girls talking to Utena, though we don't get to see their faces. They're just, their arms are like sticking out. I love the shot where they like push up into Utena's hair and then pull away.
It's so
good.
Like,
the flare. It's a good gif. So they're talking to her like they want her to be in it, and then they like disappear and leave her with tickets to their play. And then so she invites Auntie and Akio to go to the play with her. And it's like super they descend the way like with the arrows in a similar way to like the Mikage seminar stuff, which is like hallway after and then down this stairwell under these stairs, and they get into a room where nobody else is. And the play is about like the Rose Bride.
Yeah.
And it's like the Shadowplay Girls telling the story of the prince and who would battle monsters and kiss all the princesses until a witch appeared and tricked him into going into an upside down castle in the sky and then trapped him there. And the witch turned out to be his sister, who had, because he was the only prince in the world, she couldn't be a princess, and so she turned into a witch. And it's like the show is like the witch, and then like cuts to Auntie's face.
Yeah. Well, even the shadow
the prince
is like
Akio.
similar.
Yeah, they're not like they're like fucking get it.
Just beating it into you.
Yeah. So we get that play, and then we get like Utena having a dream where we get the actual events of what happened when Utena met the prince.
Mm-hmm.
And met Dio. And we find out that a scene of not like Anthe tricking the prince into going into a place, like Anthe dealing with like the prince like dying because he's completely overworked protecting everyone or whatever, and she comes out and says, "No, you won't get him. I saved him." And then the angry mob like stabs her a million times.
Yeah.
And so what the eternal thing that the prince showed Utena all those years ago was Anthe like writhing in pain because she's got the entire hatred of the world like stabbed into her, and she's unable to die. It's just the cursed.
It's pretty heavy.
And Dio's like, the prince is gone from this world, and now there's only end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
All that's left. Yeah. And Utena's like, why don't you save her? And he's like, I can't. Don't worry about it. She's like, I'll save her. I'll become a prince and I'll save her. And he's like, well, if you don't lose that nobility, maybe you'll be able to save her. And gives her the ring and kisses the tears from her eyes, but also says, but I'm sure you'll forget all about that and become a normal woman and never become a prince. But, who knows? And she's very determined to save Anthe.
The scene with all the swords is like horrifying.
Yeah, man.
Like,
All the swords.
just fucking flashing red
Yeah.
and stabbing.
We just get the red background with Anthe's silhouette as she's being stabbed a million times.
There was a few of those scenes, and like,
Huh?
it's one of those things where I'm like, I've never ever been even remotely at risk for seizures, but like, maybe this is where I find out. Like, there was so much flashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the stuff with
Is it the end of this?
which
I don't. Is it the end of this episode that Anthi learns about Akio and Anthi?
That Tena learns about them.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit. That's like after the.
Or is it after the... Oh, wait, I think it's after the Toga duel. Yeah. I think this one ends with her, like, waking up from her dream and saying, I was dreaming about something, but I can't remember now. To, like, make it clear that, like, Utena does not remember the thing that actually happened, even though we were just shown it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not actually information Utena has access to. The big thing now is Toga has decided that he's in love with Utena, and he wants to defeat her in the duel to save her from Akio.
Yeah.
He's like, he's no longer like, he's like, in this moment, he's like not, even though he's been like following Akio's footsteps the whole way, he decides that he wants to stop her, to save her.
Yeah. And that's like earnest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's what I that's what I got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's Akio wanting to be a prince. Wants to save Utena.
Toga wanted to be a prince.
Yeah, Toga.
Also, I apologize. There's like the world's loudest cargo train outside of my window. So,
Oh, is that what that noise is?
yeah. I don't know why this one is louder than normal.
Yeah.
Like, shit's closed. But,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Okay, now I'm remembering more of the details where, like, Akio tells Toga to give Utena a gift and say it's from him. Toga gives her these earrings. But then, like, that she wouldn't be into, except she thinks they're from Akio. So then she's into them. And then, like, Toga, and it's like, takes her horseback riding.
Yeah. And
it's like the Eddie Brock scene, he's going too fast, and she falls off. And,
but
like,
thankfully,
Akio catches her midair.
Yeah, on his horse, because he rides that trail often.
Yeah, well, and Toga had a brown horse, but Akio's got that white horse.
I mean, as you do.
Yeah. So that's kind of like Toga, like, helps Akio along with that step of the plan, but then kind of realizes that he doesn't want to just go along with it in that way. There's also like a thing of like Akio always telling Toga that like you're the one I want to win the duel.
Yeah.
Because, he's a dude.
Well, yeah, only as we learn, only
they're just
dudes
two
can be
normal
princes.
dudes who hang out with their shirts open in bed.
Bros
Guy
doing bro
shit.
stuff. Although,
They take pictures of each other popping their shirts open.
look, and if it goes a little further, like whatever, it's just a little bro job. No biggie.
Yeah. Utena. Is that the duel that has the part with, like, the cars flying at Utena? And she's just, like, standing there as they're, like, being cut in half?
I
think so.
Yes.
Because that's the last, like, car duel.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the last, like, sort of sanctioned duel.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the deal with this is, like, everybody's like, oh, shit, like, this is the last duel. If you win this, then you're the one that has access to this power.
Yeah. And Sayoji is Toga's bride. for this
Yeah.
duel, basically, if he's his assistant.
And we get that great bit with all the cars driving at her, right? That's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like
It's,
doing to the cars what Omni-Man did to Invincible in that subway.
like it's just it's such a good way of like doing like they do such a good job of working within the limits of their animation budget, because she's just like a static figure with her sword in front of her, and this just repeating car image of this car just like dividing itself in half in front of her is just flying by. It looks so fucking good.
It's really good, dude.
Yeah, we get the hilarious scene of Toga and Saionji driving to the end of the world and Toga's motorbike with a sidecar, and Saionji poses, TT poses.
Yeah. Before being told it's
There's a good-
dangerous.
It's dangerous. You better sit down. There's a bit in a episode where like Saionji and Toga are running at Utena on that bike, and the lyrics to the song that's going, I think it's like allegory, allegorious.
Yes. Yes. Pretty good. Dude, I only noticed like I don't even know at what point, if it was this one or during the last round that we did, the Black Rose arc, that the songs that are sung during the duel, they have different lyrics and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's specific songs. Every duel has its own duel song.
Yeah, I didn't fucking notice. Like, I mean, I looked at the lyrics, but it didn't connect that like they were truly different. I just thought it was a mix of like, I wasn't looking at the lyrics, and I just assumed it was the same song because I wasn't paying attention like at all to that portion of things. And when I did look at the lyrics and they were different, I'm like, oh, it's just a different part of the song. But after a while, I'm like, there's no fucking way that I missed all of this. And then I started noticing like every single duel was different. I was like, holy shit.
True.
And I had to read twice as much.
Yeah, because
Good stuff though.
but there is good shit in the lyrics.
Yeah, as it turns out, like
What the
it's
duels are happening.
hyper relevant.
Yeah. It shows it's dense. Like there's like
Yeah,
no
dude.
way to like, even one of the reasons that it's really fun to rewatch is, even having seen it a bunch of times, it's like just kind of impossible to hold it all in my head at once.
Oh, totally.
Like there's just stuff like there's stuff that slips by, but there's just also stuff like you can't fucking remember all of it.
Oh, dude.
There's too much.
It's beefy.
Oh yeah, the other thing is like before he challenges her to the duel, Toga like invites Utena out to the dueling ring to just hang out,
Yeah.
and it like tells her he's in love with her and asks if like she can just like sit next to him, and that would be enough, and she does. Like
Yeah,
she like
he's-
puts her head on his shoulder and he's like, "Thank you," and like grabs her shoulder.
And he's like, she's like, would you just stop it? And he's like, no, like for real this time though. Like I'm not fucking around for once. Seriously.
And he when he challenges her to the final duel, he's like, if you win this duel, you don't have to deal with the student council anymore.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, if he didn't duel her, she also wouldn't have to deal with him anymore. That's fine. That's fine. That happens. The next.
Well, I guess. Yeah. Then somewhere in between, that's when she sees.
Yeah, I think that's at the end of that episode she sees Akio and Anthe at the end of the Toga fight. Because it can't happen before the Toga fight because she needs the resolve to go through with that duel, to win that duel. But then after that, she learns the truth, and she's, going through it.
I mean, they lock eyes, and I just remember they lock eyes, and it cuts back and forth a few times, and the episode ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the episode where we get Anthe and Utena's talk about, where they're just talking, and then Anthe starts talking about a poison.
Yeah.
She's like, I poisoned your cookies. And Utena's like, finishes up eating one, and he's like, oh, that's nice. I poisoned your tea as well. Which is like that conversation is so fucking good. It's like, there's so much in the, like, that simple exchange of, like, built into it. Where, like, Anthe's, like, admitting that she's, like, poison or whatever, and then Utena's like, yeah, I'm also not been, like, her own feelings about dealing with Anthe, like, just I don't know. And also Utena's refusal to, like, be pushed away by Anthe saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that, no, we're still in this together. Like, God, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, dude.
Because then we get the like, even more directly one of fucking Anthe attempting to kill herself by jumping off the tower, and Utena, like, grabbing her. Because at the last thing in that in their conversation about poisoning each other, they're like, in 10 years, like, setting a date for, like, 10 years from now or something.
Yeah, to drink tea.
The phrasing. To drink tea together in 10 years.
Because they were mentioning how, like, Anthe said, like, she wants it to just stay like this forever. Like,
yeah.
And, like, yeah, like, 10 years from now, we're just drinking tea and whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then Anthe's out here about to jump off a building, and Utena grabs her.
It's like, we
get more of this scene later.
Yeah, I mean, Utena says,
I forget how much we get here. She accuses Anthe of running away.
They say the running away bit. They go back and forth a little, and then she says, Utena says, like, we have we're gonna drink tea together in 10 years, and I forget if we actually see it fully on screen, but we get confirmation, I think, like, just the sound that she, like, pulls Anthe up, but as she does that, the camera, like, pans up, and then it cuts to other stuff. So that's all we get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that happened. I guess the other thing is, like, at the start of the episode, everybody got letters from End of the World, and Utena just kind of tears hers up.
Yeah, she just says, fuck it.
Yeah. And then we get a great scene of Utena talking to Juri, Miki, and Nanami, like, as they're like batting around a
shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock. Shuttlecock. There, as Juri and Miki are asking Utena, like, what she's gonna do with the power to revolutionize the world, and when Nanami comes by, like, grabs the shuttlecock and, like, again warns Utena, and is like, you gotta get out of there, and admits basically that, like, she cares about Utena. And then like Mickey and Jury are Mickey's like, "Hey, Utena, do you want to go on a date or whatever?" He's like, "Maybe I like Utena now." And then Jury's like, "Oh, Utena, can you give me a photo? I was thinking about getting another necklace." And like and you see like Shiori and Kozue like in the distance, like watching Mickey and Jury.
Yeah. No, it was a good like before the final battle.
Before the final battle, the hero gets their nice moment with friends.
Yeah.
And then Utena decides to face End of the World in the final duel.
Yeah.
Her resolve is to save Anthe is reignited.
Yes. I forget what happens in what order. I guess she just like at first it's not a duel, right? Yeah. She like goes there
Yeah.
and Akio is like, "Hey, I'm the prince. Congratulations.
I'm End of the World.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Give me your sword. You're my princess cuz like you're a girl and girls can't be princes, obviously."
Yeah, he's like he's like jarring her, and then fucking Anthe's eyes roll back into her head, and she disappears. And then Akio's like, "No, she's right over there," and she's like fucking splayed out over the stairs.
Yeah, in her like outfit from the flashback sort of thing. Like when like that
like just
original
her
outfit.
her like simple red dress, not her Rose Bride outfit.
Yeah.
And also her hair is all long and everywhere. She's not looking good.
No.
It's not looking okay. But like, and Akio's like, "You and me, Utena, we can live together forever happily, and the Rose Bride will just keep being trapped as the Rose Bride forever, and everything will be great."
Yeah.
And then Utena lets him draw her sword from her, and she gets a version of like the bride dress that's pink. And then she fucking takes her sword and is like, "Fuck that." She's not gonna stuff. She's gonna save Anthe.
Yeah.
And then Akio reveals that the dueling ground was actually his apartment the whole time.
Yeah, like the top level of
the largest tower in Atori Academy.
The penis tower, yeah. That wasn't lost on me. Dick tower.
all the windows open, and in the light it reveals, and as like the natural light gets revealed onto Utena, she turns back into her Utena outfit instead of the dress. And like instead of Anthe lying on the stairs, it's like shows her like lying on the couch in the Rose Bride outfit.
See, this might be like the biggest like. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter. But like, my brain is so hung up on like what parts are real and what parts aren't.
So here's my read on this thing.
Sure.
Like, this is how Akio sees the world. In Akio's mind, this is all an illusion that he's in control of and created. With like that he's the adult with his, and this is all your childhood fantasy that you were in this tower in this forest, but really it's my apartment with my astronomy projector controlling everything. But like the magic is fucking real. Like he's like it's like demystifying this stuff, except that it's still clearly magic everywhere. Like this is just another. This is the way in which Akio is perceives the world. It's not like the all this stuff was fake. It wasn't any more real than anything else in the world, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
This is just like the illusion of like his adulthood or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just another trick.
I got my. At some point, this is going to be a nice long. Got a lot of stuff.
Because by the end of this episode, they're not like hanging out in that apartment anymore.
Yeah. No, I got a lot of stuff to chew on with this show. So like I'm still like part of it is, like I mentioned, I was looking up like what stuff might mean or can mean, but like I got my own ideas floating around, but I don't, it's like that first watch, I don't feel comfortable like diving into shit necessarily because I don't.
Yeah, fair enough.
I need to put it together from the beginning now.
Totally. Yeah, so Utena and I forget how Akio like walks over to Anthe, and it like all like the swords of hatred like pop out of her, and he like takes one of those to fight Utena with. Pulls out.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got,
like
a dark Dio sword. But like they're fighting, and then like Utena's kind of pushing him back, and he goes back to Anthe, and then like shoves Anthe into Utena, and Utena like steps in front of her to protect Anthe, and then Anthe stabs Utena in the back.
yeah.
So this episode ends.
Pretty intense shit.
I forget. Is it in this episode where Anthe's like, as she stabs Utena? I can't remember if it's the end or the beginning of the next one. Like, but as she stabs Utena, she's like, I almost thought you could do it, but you're just a girl.
Oh, I forget. I mean, I remember the line. I don't know which thing it happened in. Yeah, I remember her saying like, "You can't be my prince. You're a girl."
So, Akio takes Utena's sword and the Rose Gate appears, like, outside of the dueling arena. There's, like, it's like a setup, like, there's just, like, a long, single pathway out to this door that's guarded, that's, like, covered with roses. And he's gonna take Utena's power and use it to break open the Rose Gate and take the power to revolutionize the world. And like as he steps onto there, the swords start rising up.
What?
And
great shots.
Yeah, there's just like the wide shot is just like this pyramid being built like up to Akio's feet.
A sword pyramid.
And yeah, it's made of swords. And then Anthe like disappears again and appears up in the floating naked up in the air, I think. And then the swords, as they get to Akio's feet, they split and they go right past him, and then they start amassing in a giant circle around Anthe up in the sky. As Utena is like looking on in horror and like writhing in pain.
Yeah.
And then Akio, he's like, oh. So it's the image of the Rose Bride taking on the hatred of the world to protect the prince. And then Akio goes to open the door and starts hitting the door with the sword, which doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he does it for so long that then the sword breaks.
Yeah. Just fucking. And he's like pretty nonchalant about it too.
Yeah.
It's like, eh.
He's like, oh well, didn't work. Utena did not have enough power to open the gate. So it goes. And also there's like Akio, and then also Dio shows up. It's just hanging out and starts talking. I forget what he says to Utena. Because there's like a carousel next to the duel arena.
Yeah.
And then like the younger version of End of the World shows up, and he's like, he starts talking to Utena. I forget what he says to her.
I forget the exact stuff. He says something. I remember he like kisses her ring as like a token.
Yeah, he's like lies down. That's like he lies down next to her and
end.
just like, this is all I can do to help you. And
Yeah.
kisses her.
But then we get from like him kissing the ring to like her putting her fist down on the floor to get up.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Yeah, she like punches the ground to like force herself up and starts making her way over to the Rose Gate.
Oh, so good.
And then like passes Akio as
He's
like she like
sipping a drink.
Yeah, as he's walking back, she passes him and he like picks her up and then she like shoves him away.
Yeah.
As she goes forward because he's given up.
Oh,
And
right.
him and the other Dio are like lying on the ground watching Utena, like
Yeah.
sipping the drink. Like,
Yeah,
that's not gonna work.
he's sipping the drink as she's like trying to wrench the door open.
Yeah, and she's like trying to pull the door open with her bare hands.
And he says something like, when I was the prince, like I thought persistence is all it took to help everybody or something. But that
It's like I was like you once.
Yeah.
And then like as he finishes his drink, I forget the exact order, but like at some point the Dio like just walks away. And like Akio's like sipping his drink and not paying attention. And then when he looks up, the Rose Gate has. So I think the first thing that happens though is Utena's like starts crying about Anthe, and you just like Anthe is getting covered in swords. You just like have a shot of her face, and it's just more and more swords until you can only see one of her eyes.
Yeah.
It's just swords everywhere as she's getting stabbed over and over again. But Utena cries, and the tear does like the water drop thing from the gate opening scene that we've seen a million times for every duel, and like the water dips and hits her ring in that same way. And then like Akio looks up, and then instead of the Rose Gate, there's a setup of a coffin, a rose coffin.
Yeah.
In front of like the same kind of background that Anthe was in front of when Utena first saw her in the past. And Utena's like, her hands are all fucked up and she's pushing on the coffin to try and open it. And Akio's like, no, wait, what? What are you doing? What's happening?
You can't open that.
And then the swords start reversing. They all start pulling away from Anthe and like swirling around instead. And Utena like gets the coffin open a crack, calling for Hermemia. And we see Anthe like asleep inside, and she wakes up and sees Utena, and they start calling for each other and reach their hands. And then just as they grip their hands, the coffin falls away, slips away. Utena's like, I guess I couldn't be a prince after all. And then all the swords go after Utena instead of as Anthe falls away.
Yeah.
And we cut to The next scene. That whole part is so fucking good.
Dude, it's God, it's just there's so much. And it's all
Yeah.
like God, it just blends together so nicely. Like the
Yeah.
shot of uh Himemia like in the coffin, and when she
Mm-hmm.
the first bit, I guess, like when she's curled up, like that was like there's God, just so many fucking shots in this anime. Like that shot was
Yeah.
so well done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a, I mean, it's kind of a bare bones thing, right? It's just her and it's like the light coming in. But I mean, this is this like I mean the color is something this anime does well. And even though it's not like in your face symbolic like the rose or anything, but like the lighting is perfect. Like it's the exact
Yeah.
perfect shade to fit the tone, and it's such a complex tone. It's such a weird thing to like say, but when
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, it's just like Jesus. Like God, it's such a good scene. And then yeah,
Yeah.
the transition and like as their
I guess we
hands
do
slip
like
away. Ugh.
the we see the swords like go after Utena and then also like destroy the entire arena and the
Yeah, it
stairwell.
all gets fucked up.
Everything gets destroyed. And then we cut to um back to school and people are talking about, hey, wasn't there this girl Utena? You remember her? Yeah, I heard like she got hurt and then transferred to a different school. Oh, that's weird. And like kind of everything is going back to normal, and we go to Akio, who's like got prepping to do this all over again. He's writing letters. He's making prep, and then Anthi puts, you just see from off screen, her hand comes in and she puts her glasses on the table, and she's like, "No, Atena's not gone. She's just gone from your world." Uh, and it's like like Akio's just can't. The revolution happened in front of him and he missed it. He
Yeah.
couldn't see it, and Anthi leaves to go find Utena,
Yeah.
and takes Choo Choo with her, who has a tearful breakup with a
With
frog.
the frog, yeah.
And then Anthi steps out into the world in her new pink dress, and we get a version of the opening that's all, instead of lyrics, just goes na na na.
Dude,
Na 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 na.
it's perfect because literally like that's how I would sing it to myself.
Yeah.
And then there's that little like there was a scene after the credits, so I can't remember what they said.
There's like
It's
a
the
shot
picture,
of a photo of
yeah.
them,
Holding
and
hands.
it's like someday together,
Yeah.
and because someday together will shine as the
Right.
final end coda after, yeah, and it does show them holding hands,
And then
which is their hands being held together.
it cuts, and then you sit back and you contemplate everything, and you wonder how you're supposed to go about the rest of your day. I think maybe I should just call in tomorrow. Honestly,
Good show.
I haven't felt that way watching something since like the first time I watched Berserk, and it like fucked me up for like a solid 2 days. Like legitimately, I was just like, I didn't like. I just remember coming into work the next day, and I stayed up super late, like finishing Berserk, and I was like super quiet. My friend was like, "Are you all right? Like you're super quiet today." I'm like, "I'm just working through some stuff right now." Like just not talking at all. And that's like how after finishing this, I'm just like I need to.
Yeah.
I don't even need food. I'm stuffed. I've got so much.
I mean, but a thing that like makes the show for me is that its end note is like optimistic.
Yeah.
It's not as dark as the show is. Its ending is hopeful.
Yeah, but it's still like it's the tame hopeful, you know?
But it's not like everything was fine and everything everything was perfect forever. It's like the possibility of happiness.
Yeah. It's like
yeah.
it's a step.
Yeah. But like, Utena did it. She saved Anthe from all those swords.
Yeah, dude.
She saw Anthe as a person and not as the power.
Imagine.
Or the Rose Bride or a witch.
Fucking imagine.
She saw her as Anthe Himemia. God, it's so good. That the ending of like this, one of the best endings ever. So, if not the best.
It's
that image of the swords and it's also good.
yeah, dude. It's
like I fucking love that Akio just like has no idea. He's just completely oblivious to what happened.
Yeah, it's those last, what is it, like 3 or 4 episodes, I guess. Like, God, it's so good. There's just so much.
It's 3 episodes after Toga's duel with Utena.
Right, yeah. I mean, even those, like the entire last little section here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The 4th season, if you will.
What's listed as the Apocalypse Saga on Wikipedia? Because they list the rest of the season as the...
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
Akio Saga?
Yeah, I guess it is cut up.
But I don't know. Like the DVDs, it's just all the Apocalypse Saga.
Apocalypse Saga, aka Season 4. Season 4 episodes 1 through 6.
Apocalypse Saga episodes 24 through 39.
My favorite part is that they labeled all of them correctly. Mm-hmm. Like they're all the right title, but... Ugh.
And a thing that I literally didn't know until I noticed it, like after our last episode, is that the Wikipedia page has like storyboarder, episode director, writer, and animation supervisors listed, and a bunch of these episodes storyboarded by Mamoru Hosoda, who we did an episode on.
Oh, right. Summer Wars and Co.
Separate, yeah. And not only did he storyboard some episodes, he storyboarded episodes like episode 33 and episode 39.
Jesus. So the big ones.
Yes. And the episode 23, the end of the Black Rose Saga.
Hell yeah.
He's not credited on the show. He's like had a pseudonym in the credits, I guess.
Yeah,
but it was him.
Katsuyo Hashimoto.
So, yeah. That was just interesting. Like, that was just like, oh, I had fucking no idea.
Yeah.
But you definitely, when you watch Utena, you can like, fucking the people that worked on the show were very talented. So, I'm also not surprised. Someone else talented worked on it that I didn't realize. It's just, Utena is just such an amazing piece of craft.
Oh, dude.
Like, it's so amazingly put together. And it's not like it's amazing to look at, and it's not like the animation is like incredible. Like, they're making the most with a limited budget, generally. They just like fucking make the most of it.
Oh yeah, and it like, I mean, I guess for me, like, I just don't. I mean, now I do. I was forced to by people like you introducing me to more content. The audacity, but I don't. And even still, it's not like at the forefront of my mind, like budgeting and stuff. Like, if I saw this on my own, any decision would be an intentional one. I mean, maybe that's a little naive of me, but like, if I see a thing, it doesn't immediately enter. Well, again, does more now, but they wouldn't. They're choosing to do this. It's not that they don't have money. Meanwhile, the people working on the fucking show are like, how can we do this fight for like $3?
How many clip shows do we need to get to the end of our show?
Yeah. But it all looked
How many
like
pauses can we put in?
it looked
Save animation budget.
yeah. But it looked like it all looks so good. Like it's just very solid. It doesn't ever feel lacking. Like it doesn't ever, to me, it never feels like there's a lack of a budget at any point. Feels like a decision.
Yeah, well, like that low budget also gave them complete creative freedom. Like Ikuhara got to do exactly what he wanted in terms of like content and stuff. Well, that's not true. He didn't get to do everything he wanted. Some of it he was limited in certain ways because it was a TV show. So there's certain ways in he was limited for being more explicit than he wanted to. Let's say Utena and Anthi kiss more in the movie because he was able to do more of what he wanted. I'll just put it like that.
Hell yeah.
And I think nobody having nipples in the show is a thing of like what you're allowed to air at their time slot or something.
That sounds right. There were a few things in this where I'm like, it feels like it's definitely not meant for kids, but also includes kids for some reason.
But I mean, it's not meant for kids. That's for fucking sure.
No shit.
This is a show for adults.
Some poor fucking 10-year-old like, oh boy, it's like Sailor Moon.
Well, whatever. And I was watching South Park when I was 10.
I mean, this is darker though. It feels dark.
Yes.
It's because it's serious. Like,
well,
I mean, I don't know what's worse for a 10-year-old to see. That amusement park thing, like this weird shit, or like,
yeah, that episode's particularly fucking harrowing.
or like Blood Orgy, the episode of South Park. Like, Merry Christmas.
Man. Yeah. I don't know. Violence is like
Yeah, I guess depends
It's a
on what
different
country you're in. The culture and stuff.
yeah. You know, I don't know. When I was a kid, I was only really worried about content based in terms of like what would give me nightmares. I just didn't want nightmares. It's the big thing.
Yeah. I was trying to think if that, like,
But this show I watched when I was in college
gotcha.
for the first time at my anime club.
The whole thing? You guys like do it all the way through?
We would do like 4 to 5 episodes of anime every week.
Okay.
Plus we would do if like for people who wanted to show up early, we would also have like an ongoing show that was longer that we'd just watch like an episode every time beforehand.
Gotcha.
And we would watch like anime music videos, AMVs beforehand too.
Nice.
That was my Wednesdays.
No, I'm excited to do
So
the film.
So we might have done like 25 episodes or 24 episodes, and then like done a marathon on the weekend to finish it or something.
Gotcha.
That's how we did it with shows that were a little longer usually.
Oh, the
Man.
So what are we? Are we doing any of the? We're doing the film for Utena, and
Yeah, we're doing the movie.
are we gonna check out like one of the stage shows?
Y- yeah, the newer ones we can check out.
Gotcha.
But my problem with the older one is I've watched that one on YouTube and it's just not that good. And Utena doesn't have pink hair, so
Oh yeah, easy deal breaker. There you go.
there are versions of those songs on the. So there's like a 10-part Utena soundtrack. It's like 10 CDs that they put out for the 10th anniversary. That like it collects like all the Utena music.
Hell yeah.
So one of those CDs has the songs from that musical on it, but they're sung by the woman who played Anthe, and those versions of those songs are just better than what's in like actually watching the stage performance that's on YouTube. Like it's such a low budget stage performance that like it's kind of yeah, and I don't love the Utena doesn't have pink hair. It's frustrating. But the newer ones I've heard are at least Utena has pink hair in that one. I don't know.
You know, baby.
I think
steps.
there are only two of them. They only cover the first arc and then the Black Rose Saga.
Yeah.
Also, the important thing is that when they put out that 10th disc has remixes of versions of the Utena songs in different genres.
Ooh.
Like the bossa nova version of Zetai Unmei Moku Shiroku.
Hell yeah. I actually have not. I haven't really done up any of the soundtrack yet. I mean, I've been planning.
I mean, you
on
didn't
it,
even
but
realize the duels were different songs.
it's the same like melody ish.
They're all different. They're all
okay.
different,
And
dude.
like every other show on Earth, they would not be different. I've been trained to not care.
No, the song they repeat every episode is Zetai Unmei Moku Shiroku. They already have their repeating song.
Yeah. Also, the theme song is so good because it has a key change. 10 out of 10. Too saucy.
Fair enough.
I didn't do much of the soundtrack like on my own just because I didn't want to accidentally spoil it myself.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Yeah, but I've been eyeballing it, you know, for afterwards.
Also, it's not all music. They also have the radio drama stuff on there.
Nice.
Which I don't care about because it's all in Japanese. I have no idea. Like, I could listen to it, but I don't know that I'd get much out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a nice thing to have.
I gotta listen. Yeah, totally. I'm just telling you, the bossa nova remix for Zetai Meimoku Shiroku is top notch. Also, there's the dark mix of the Shadow Playgirls song, which like overlays the creepy like breathing music for those scenes with the it's like 7.5 minutes long.
Oh god.
Pretty amazing.
What's the name? What's the name of the box of this collection? Do you know?
It's the like Utena 10th anniversary OST or something. Because they put it out for the 10th anniversary. Or if you find Utena soundtrack and it's 10 discs.
Yeah, this looks it. This looks like it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Released 2008. Soundtracks 1 through 8 digitally remastered. 10th anniversary CD with new recordings.
Yes, that's
a lot of club. Oh yeah, bossa nova club mix.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a club mix of the opening.
Now I just gotta find where to get this bad boy.
Good shit.
Yeah, man. This was a top tier thing to consume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's up there. It's one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah. This I mean I'd have to think fully. I think it probably sides right into the number 2 slot.
Nice.
Hard to dethrone Mushishi for me, but
yeah, that's fair.
But everything else, like, yeah, this is like it's like several levels above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I only decided Utena was like that up there for me after watching it a second time, I think. Didn't. Like, I knew it was like up there, but I didn't decide like actually number 1 for a little bit.
I mean, in my case, it's fighting against way less.
That's fair. Although I was also fighting way less for me when I saw it.
I suppose.
Like it was fighting against like Cowboy Bebop and Fully Cooley. Which is only like 6 episodes, so it's like a whole different experience.
Yeah, the only thing close to that I've done is Afro Samurai, and that's not really even in the same realm of consideration. Yeah. Good shit.
That's a podcast. Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna do a commentary track for the Utena movie because I need your live reaction to a certain part. I need it on audio.
I'm scared I'm gonna underperform. I'm not gonna be able to get it up.
Either way, I need it. I can't let that moment slip.
I'm nervous. What if I miss the moment? What if I don't react? I'll react to everything.
I'm not worried about that. Honestly.
I'm nervous.
Email soulcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Soulcirclepod on Twitter. Soulcircle Podcasts, all your podcast catchers, Spotify. You know what it is. And I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter or anything.
Escape from this world.
I mean, I'm like I'm out the door, but someone's holding me.
You just delete Twitter and go no.
I wish. I wish.
You're trapped in your own coffin.
I mean, my coffin is Reddit, and someone needs to fucking pull me out of it. It's no good.
Oof. Yeah.
Reject internet. Watch Utena.
Watch Utena.
Yeah, dude.
It's good.